All right. Well, we are here today with Tracy Beier of Monster Cookies and More. And we're going to be talking a little bit about her business, and which is a yummy business to be in. And so to get started, we're going to have Tracy just tell us about your business.
Good morning. My business is a cookie business, and I am out of my home. So I have a full commercial kitchen in my basement, and but I do sell in retail locations, and people place orders, pick up from me. I do weddings, events, farmers markets, fundraisers, all of that kind of stuff. But everything is based out of my home initially. So
Awesome. And how long have you had Monster Cookies and More?
this will be 7 years. I just did 7 years this summer.
Wow, congratulations.
Yeah,
That's
thank you.
exciting. So I have to ask, what made you start the business? What got you into cookies?
I have always loved to bake. I've loved to bake since I was a little girl, and just, always took monster cookies to all of the events. And anytime we had a family gathering, or I would take them to work, and everybody always just loved them. And I had a friend who's like, Tracy, you just don't understand. If you would just sell these cookies, you'd just be a millionaire. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know. And I was working for the school system at the time, and just decided to maybe try to do something on the side. And so started selling them at a little local grocery store. And it was going pretty good. And so I thought, well, okay, let's just see what this can do. And I hooked up with UNI Small Business, great resource, especially for this area. So they were wonderful in helping me sort through some things that I was unaware of, because I totally jumped in feet first, just without, and I mean, I had a plan, but I really didn't have a plan. And I worked for the schools for the first year simultaneously. So I would come home on Friday nights and set up my kitchen, and I would bake until 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, and go to sleep and get up and deliver and come home and do it all over again every weekend for almost a year. And then I took a year leave of absence from the schools to see if I could do it on my own. And after that first year, I was making almost as much as I was at the schools. And so I didn't go back. So,
Congratulations.
yeah.
It's always fascinating I see in a lot of subject matter experts or people with passions start their business. And the interesting thing is we often don't know what we don't know when
Mhm.
we start the business, and we don't realize how much there is to learn until we get knee deep in it. And then I don't know about you, but I faced this early on in my business. Then it becomes juggling the time with trying to learn all the things you don't know and still do the business, right?
Yes, I agree with that 100%. So,
So, tell me a little bit about who your target audience is. Who's your best customer?
um, at first it used to be that mom age, 30 to 50, 55-ish range. But that was pretty much early on. And now it's all ranges. I mean, I have very regular teenage customers, all the way up to the elderly that just love my cookies, and they just get them on a regular basis. So as far as age group, I can't really put a target on who's the best, because it's pretty spread out as far as
So,
it goes.
we all love cookies, right? Sort of have something for everybody.
Yes, yes.
My kids have never met a cookie they don't like, so.
There's always one. There's got to be one cookie that you like. You may not like cake, or you may not like pie, but there's always one cookie that
Mhm.
that you can say you like. So,
Yeah.
uh,
So tell me a little bit about 2021 versus 2020. How's it going this year as compared to last?
this year has been absolutely fantastic for me. Last year, with COVID and everything, I really had to shift gears and try to figure out how I could get around some of the challenges that I was facing with that, and kind of shifted more towards retail, and that has been very successful for me. Kind of wish I would have done it a little more sooner. I mean, I've always been in retail, but I I have really pushed the retail and have gotten several more retail accounts and different things. So that has been tremendous for this year. I mean, sales have been great.
Awesome. Love that. So tell us a little bit about your team, because if you're in retailers, that's a lot of cookies to be making every day. So what does your team look like now?
I am still the primary baker. No one else bakes, just me. But I do have people that help me with the protein balls now, because I do have a line of protein products. I do like a protein bar and a protein ball. That is actually a fair chunk of my business. So I do have helpers that do that, but my kitchen helpers are with me a good majority of the day, just doing dishes, packaging cookies, getting bags and labels and orders ready to go to be delivered, or for the next day or whatever. And so I have my mom and dad work for me, and a couple of nieces. I have some people that I can just call upon during busy times for help here and there, but that's mostly what they do. Deliveries. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. It is so important to have a great support system as a business owner. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. And so, their family too. So I mean, it's 10 times better, because then they're part of it. So
So have you seen the size of your team grow over the last year?
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely needed more help. Expanding hours at night, and so.
Sure. So as an entrepreneur, it's been said that smart people learn from their mistakes, and wise people learn from the mistakes of others. So what mistakes have you made along the way, and how can other entrepreneurs learn from some of your mistakes in order to maybe avoid those particular pitfalls?
Gosh, that's a thinking question. I need to be prepared for that. Mistakes. I've made a lot of mistakes. So just ones to kind of like for people to learn on, I guess. For me in the beginning, I didn't hook up with UNI Small Business right away, and I just jumped in feet first. So when I did hook up with them, I had to backtrack quite a bit, things I didn't know I should have been doing, and that kind of a thing. So I guess just making sure that you have a plan is obviously better than not having a plan, and having somebody that can guide you with questions and that kind of thing is really important. There's nothing wrong with needing help. And I think especially, I mean, because I'm that type of person that doesn't always like to hand over the wheel to other people in that particular sense, but there's nothing wrong with needing help and asking for help when you do need it. And I think a lot of business owners can get into that rut of, oh, I can do it all on my own. I can do it all on my own. And then that can cause some issues, in the long run, eventually. So that would probably be the absolute biggest thing, I think. Just coming from my perspective, all of this other stuff is so minute, I guess. But
it's fascinating to me at how many business owners, and it's funny because I say fascinating to me, but I went through the same thing of, oh, I have to know it all and I have to do it all myself. And it didn't take very
Mhm.
long to realize that, there's a lot of great people that have gone before me that have made the mistakes, and I could save a lot of time by learning from
Mhm.
them. And then you're right, having people to ask you questions. I've always had a coach since I started my business, sometimes multiple coaches, because,
Right.
we all need sometimes more help at other times. So, share how people get in contact with you. How do they go about purchasing cookies from you, especially if they want to have a bigger order or anything like that?
Well, that's interesting because people contact me in almost every possible way. But most people will call, or they can email me through the website or Facebook. Those are probably my three primary sources. But I mean, people message me on Facebook Messenger, or they'll text me, or they'll see me in the grocery store and they'll be like, hey, can I get this tomorrow? And
Mhm.
yep. And that's kind of how it goes. But yeah, for big orders, a lot of people will call or they'll email. And
Okay.
and I'm pretty good about responding almost right away or by the end of the day at the very, very latest. So
Okay. So can you share your website address with us so that
yes,
way everybody watching knows how to find you?
absolutely. It's www.monstercookiesandmore, all spelled out. And email is the same, monstercookiesandmore, all spelled out, at gmail.com.
Awesome. Awesome. And so anything that we haven't talked about today that you want people to know about your business?
Um, I think sometimes I do get a lot of requests for frosted sugar cookies, and that is actually one of the things that I do not do. People think cookies and they automatically go to frosted sugar cookies, and unfortunately, that's just something I don't do. But I do almost every other cookie that you can think of. But I think some people don't realize that, like, I do breads, and then I have the line of protein products, um, and I do special orders for people. I've had people call and say, hey, I have my grandma's recipe, and, I just want somebody to duplicate it, or, something like that. So I've done special orders for people, and usually it's not a problem as long as I, can do it.
Mhm. And you also have gluten-free, right?
I do. I have
One of
gluten-free. I have
one of
4
my
different
team
cookies.
members, yeah, one of my team members is especially fond of your
Yeah.
gluten-free cookies. So, yeah, awesome. So if they need catering, big events, special events, gluten-free, things for athletes, you are the place for them to get a hold of so that they can get their cookie needs met.
Yes,
Awesome.
absolutely. And
Well,
Christmas is coming. I can do
oh,
your
yes.
Christmas baking for you.
Oh my gosh, that is awesome. That is awesome. Well, thank you so much. We have been talking to Tracy Beier from Monster Cookies and More, and everybody loves cookies. So I encourage you to check out her website. And Tracy, we didn't talk about, what retail locations are you in? Where could they find your cookies if they want to pop into a retail location?
I am at Cork's Grocery, Jim Lynn, Hansen's Dairy in Waterloo and Cedar Falls, Martin Brothers Food Market, Hy-Vee, the Hy-Vee stores and the Hy-Vee gas stations at Crossroads, Amesboro, and Cedar Falls. The Tea Cellar up in Cedar Falls has some of my products. Fat Cup Coffee has some of my products. I don't think I'm not missing anybody. I think that's almost all of them.
Well, that is a great list, and it gives everybody the opportunity to try them without the big risk of buying a bunch of them so that they can find out how amazing they are and then order more. So thank you so much for joining us today.
Absolutely. Thank you.